Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Smoke Signals with Sosa, the place where I scour the earth in search of the world's strongest, pepperiest, most intense, hard-hittingest cigar, and we smoke them to see if they live up to the hype. Hope you're having a good day, or whatever. If you're not, don't bring me down. It's a nice autumn day here. See some foliage behind me. I've done my due diligence and I don't think there's any kind of landscaper or loud scumbag coming today. So hopefully it stays that way. I'm very excited. Today we're going to smoke the Viaje. This is, I guess, a limited edition to an extent because it's part of the Wolverine edition. This is the Logan. It is a 6x56 Toro or Gordo. This was sent to us by our friend Indie Buzz. So thank you. If you remember, a while ago we did the gray camo Skull and Bones by Viaje. This is the Wolverine edition, the Logan. Smells like tobacco. Nothing incredibly wild, but it's supposed to be incredibly full-bodied, and everything else is secret. Undisclosed fillers, undisclosed binders. Well, there's only one, or maybe some people used to. Undisclosed, 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 undisclosed. One website, all it says about the wrapper is proprietary. So, as Frodo would say, keep your secrets. There's some sweet tobacco and some pepper for sure on the cold draw. And I like when, there's a little bit of mystery to a cigar, but I think some people go way, way too far with the secrets. When things are undisclosed, at least tell me what the wrapper is, right? I mean, if I had to guess, it looks Habano. Probably all Nicaraguan, if I was a betting man. Then again, I don't really know. I don't really know too much about Viaje. We've only had the one. All right, smooth initial. There's a little bit of a flap in the wrapper there, but that's okay. Shouldn't really affect the rest of the cigar. It's so close to the foot. It's probably my fault. There's some earthiness, not in a bad way. Like, it doesn't taste like dirt, but it's got some earthiness to it. There's a little bit of pepper there on that retro. I don't want to have coffee just yet. I don't want to ruin the experience, but this was given to us by 1T Matt of Sober Cigars. If you remember that episode, if not, go check it out. Thank you. That was a good sting on the long retro there. Left eye feels wet. I'm going to put that definitely at a heavy, it wasn't crazy intense, but that was like a heavy 6, right? That was high in the sinus, right near the eyes, which makes sense. I didn't really tear. I didn't well up with tears. Oh, somebody's going around testing all the fire alarms. You hear that? It's always something here. It's always something. The birds don't shut the fuck up. the landscapers, the fucking, it's always something. And just like that, poof, it's gone. That was a good one though. Nice 6 out of 10 on the retro there. On the palate, we get a lot more earthiness. It's not sweet, but there's notes of tobacco on the back. Not like a sweet tobacco, but tobacco. You can tell it's tobacco. And then there's spices. But none of it really sits on your tongue. It's kind of in the back of the throat where the tongue meets the throat. Some red peppery sensations. Maybe some black pepper, but mostly red pepper. That like cayenne red peppery taste. Real high up again where it's on the way back of the tongue or on the top of the throat. But the finish is not long. It doesn't linger. The sensation's kind of there. That tingly, spice sensation. But flavor-wise, the palate's very clean. Short finish. With the exception of where that wrapper was a little messed up. Burn line's pretty okay. Ash is gray, grayish black, more than white. The retro has lost pretty much all its thing. There's definitely like a whisper of cocoa nibs and like overall tobacco and earth and lingering notes of spice. But that's all I got for now. I'll smoke the first third. We'll come back and discuss it further. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Garbage truck just left. Just as I started to film again, I heard him pulling in. I was like, right on time, right on time. It's not one thing, it's another. But whatever. Welcome back. Coming out of the first third, kind of well into the beginning of the second third there. The burn line is a little askew, but I haven't touched it up. It's been doing its own thing. Construction is pretty solid. This ash will probably fall soon, but it's pretty much stacking dimes. It is great grayish white. Not a lot of white, mostly gray. A lot less black than there was in the beginning. It's starting to get a little bit of that rust color that I like, just because I think it's fun. Just because I know there's a reason for it, and I'm just waiting for someone to tell me what it is. Anyway, the smoke is solid. It's definitely calmed down a lot since the initial light. Sting on the retro is pretty much gone. Still getting notes of lot less earthiness. Even though the earthiness was never really potent. It wasn't like dirt, There was a subtle earthiness to it. With a lot of that spice. There was a lot of spices, red pepper, cayenne pepper, maybe a little white and black pepper. A lot of those spices, the peppery spices were there, and they were hitting you kind of where the throat meets the tongue, and it would linger there. As the first third went on, the finish became longer, right? Both in the retro and on the palate, especially on the palate. It would sit there for a minute. You got whispers of the pepper in your nose that kind of lingered, but it was really much sitting right here at the top of the gullet. And, excuse me. You got a little bit of like that cocoa nib, right? Like cacao, like not too bitter, but like just kind of like a dark chocolate sensation that was semi-sweet but not very sweet, kind of coming forward. A lot of the earthiness and spice just kind of slowly started to take a back seat. And on the palate, a lot of the same. I think on the tongue, you actually taste more of the chocolate. It's still not super sweet, but there's a subtle sweetness in the background. Delightful. Delightful. Yeah. Right now, as it stands, that's what we're getting. With a little bit of like there's something there that's not quite dry. Maybe a hint of some kind of cedar or woodsy note. But for the most part, it's tobacco, a little bit of that cocoa, or, you know, a little bit of that dark chocolate. There's really no more spices. There's really no more spices. The earthiness is all but gone. So, yeah, it started off really intense. I mean, it does say in the description, like, it's for seasoned cigar smokers and blah, blah, blah. Love this cup. To an extent, I would agree in the beginning. That initial light was like, oh man, this is gonna be so fun. And then it kind of mellowed out. Now it's like enjoyable for normal people, not people like me. So still very good. Again, I'm very limited on my Viaje cigars. I wish I knew more about the wrapper, binders, and fillers. Still gonna say, if I had to guess, this is some kind of Habano seed wrapper. Some of those flavors are a little familiar. If it is Nicaraguan, which it does taste kind of Nicaraguan, there's going to be some, or maybe Honduran, right? Because there's a little bit of that almost volcanic earthiness that you get sometimes from certain regions. The Hamastron, I think, is one. I don't know. Maybe I made that up. I'll Google it later. Not really, don't really care right now. That fell. Came to a little bit of a point. We all know that means there's some definite Ligero there. Ligero burns slower than the rest of it. So yeah. Right now it's just slowly getting more mellow, more medium. I mean, I had no expectations, right? I never had it before. I've only had the gray camo, which we discussed, which I did review. You can go back and look at that. And yeah, it is an LE. Again, I didn't look up how many boxes they made, or I think it came out this year, 2025, back in the summer. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, some spices, whispers of earth at this point. A little bit of that cocoa, some kind of cedary wood flavor. The finish did get longer. I don't know if I said that already. And I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me, pardon me. So sorry, that was rude. I think my eye almost popped out of my head because I held it in. Whatever. Yeah, enjoyable. Very nice so far, lovely. Glad I'm having it for breakfast. I am on an empty stomach, as per usual. The only thing I've had was this half a cup of coffee and the water that's in that other cup. But yeah, I mean, so far there isn't like any strong feelings of nicotine in the cigar, although we can tell that there is some Ligero in there. Not a whole lot of pepper. We almost got some tears, right? We got that. My eyes got wet. There wasn't a welling, but my eyes got wet. I felt that right away. I wish that would have lingered more. I wish that would have lingered more. And you know, it's a shame because this is one of those bands where you see the skull and bones and you're like, ah, yeah, that's for me, right? Same thing happened with the gray camo. That's for me. And then, and now I'm like, meh, right? We've had that a few times. You know, it was the one with the Grim Reaper with the peppers on it and all the warning labels. And it's like, oh, this is the one. Maybe I should wear gloves when I smoke this. And that one wasn't that bad either. So whatever. It's not a bad cigar. I don't want my disappointment to sway you into thinking I'm not enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I just don't get the feeling of skull and bones when I smoke it. So that, unfortunately, when I see the band in the future, if I'm out at a shop and I see it, will make me hesitant to grab it. Just because I feel lied to, right? Because the band is all Jolly Roger and fucking skull and bones. And the sensations of smoking it are far below that. Enjoyable smoke, though. Right now, we're still back at mostly tobacco, a little bit of cocoa sweetness, whispers of cocoa, and all that spice is gone. The earthiness is gone. And this is great. As far as, you know, if the band wasn't on it and I was just smoking the cigar, I'd be like, oh, this is a good cigar. What is it? But once you put the skull and crossbones in my face, it alters my perception of what I should be getting and how I feel about it. Anyway, I'll smoke the rest of the second third and we'll come back and we'll talk some more about it. I'll see you in a bit. Oh, welcome back. I didn't see you there. Snuck up on me. Coming out of that second third, man, entering the first last third, final third. Thirds, math and fractions, hard. Not a whole lot different. Not a whole lot to say. I mean, there was a moment there where on the palate, some of that peppery spice started to come back and never got really intense, but it started to at least make itself known. Then that just kind of, again, wafted right out, disappeared just as fast as it came in. The overall flavors are still very much tobacco, a slight little bit of cocoa, you know, a sweet cocoa note, maybe coffeeness, but not really, mostly just that. There was a moment there in that second third where kind of blending in with it was this flavor I couldn't really pinpoint. It was, you know, kind of similar to the bitterness that you would get from a dark espresso, you know, without any sugar or whatever. But also at the same time, because there was that cocoa flavor there, it almost tasted like a weird mixture of chocolate and like black licorice, kind of, but never really got too intense. It just kind of lingered in the background. I keep doing weird things with my hands. So, yeah. Otherwise, all the same, right? Not a whole lot of spice, not a whole lot of change, but still lovely, you know? Smokable, enjoyable. Nothing to write home about, but completely inoffensive. On the retro right now, there's not a whole lot at play. Tobacco. There's no peppery sting. There's no real chocolatiness in the retro. No earthiness. No coffee, no nothing, just tobacco. And I'm not mad at it. I wish I had a lot more to say. I wish there was more complexity that kind of made me come, whoa, guys, you missed this turn, this, but there's none of that. Just mellow and chill. Mellow and chill. Still, no real nicotine. Was hoping at least what it lacked in everything else, it would deliver in nicotine. Not so far. So, again, don't hate it. Tobacco. Hardly much of anything else. So, I'm just going to keep doing things that piss off YouTube until they say something, right? I don't have the viewership that a lot of other people's have. People's? I don't know. English is difficult, apparently. I don't have the viewership that a lot of others have, and so I haven't gotten like any strikes or warnings or anything. I typically automatically age restrict my videos just because I know that's probably the thing they'll do. And because, you know, of their terms of service, and I know that tobacco is for people 21 and over only. I'm not condoning or encouraging anyone under the age of 21 to go out and try anything. This is for those of us who already smoke legally and are just looking for someone else's opinion on something before you commit, right? Because sometimes these are commitments, especially LEs. LEs, sometimes you can't find in a 5-pack or a single unless some kind of shop or online store or somebody decides to save some and break it down for samplers so that people can try them. But a lot of times with LEs, it was rude. A lot of times with LEs, you just kind of, when they come out, if enough people are looking for that or waiting for it, squatting for it, they'll fucking snatch them all up. You won't get to try it. Coffee's cold. Anyway, I guess I'll smoke past the band. We'll get to the nubby nub, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Hopefully, they're more exciting than this little segment here. See you soon. So, you know, it's almost, it's just more of the same. Which again isn't entirely a bad thing, right? I just, I really wish I had more to say about it. I wish, you know, there would have been more dynamics, more complexity, more changes, just more. Overall, the final third was the same. There was another moment, just a moment, where it was like, oh, I finally made it to the chocolatey center of the Tootsie Pop, right? But that didn't last more than 4 or 5 puffs, and then that was gone. We're back here at pretty much the nub. I mean, I got 2 fingers worth of cigar left. And, yeah. Tobacco. Oh, there's a hiccup. Maybe I finally found some nicotine. No more staying on the retro. No more any notes that really stood out. The cocoa-ness, the chocolatiness, fleeting at best. Never really lingered a lot. Coming towards the end, it was pretty much all gone. There is a little return of a peppery sensation, but no real pepper. No earth, no depth, you know, just kind of more of the same, which is disappointing. Still very appreciative of the cigar. He sent me a couple of others, and it was, I wasn't sure what to review today, so I actually sent a picture to someone and said, hey, pick a cigar. And this is the one that she picked. So, no fire alarms here, just back there. They're still testing stuff. But I mean, you know, For what it's worth, we'll just get right into the review of what we do here, the overall summary. For what we do here on Smoke Signals, I'm going to give it no peppers, because other than that initial one moment where my eyes got wet, they never teared. They never really welled up with tears, just a moment of wetness where my eyes were like, hey, that's nice. So no peppers. There wasn't a lot of intensity. No bubble guts. No, well, there was that one hiccup just now, but I mean, that was the first time throughout the whole cigar where I was like, oh, nicotine. Is there nicotine in it? Sure, I'm sure. There's Ligero in it, so. But it wasn't nicotine. So, what else is there? Tearjerker? Nope. Peppers? Nope. Bubble guts? Nope. Well, belly buster, we call it, right? Hiccups, just that one. It's not even worth really giving it a little thing. Would I smoke it again? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be offended if somebody offered it to me. If it was among a choice of other cigars, I'd be like, oh yeah, this one has that one moment in the beginning that was really good. Overall, while slightly boring after a while, the cigar was enjoyable. I liked it. I wouldn't buy more than one. And having smoked one in a humidor full of other choices, I wouldn't gravitate towards it. But it's not offensive, and I wouldn't turn it down if somebody gave me one. I'd politely smoke it with much lower expectations. And maybe that's the thing. Again, going back to the banding, going back to the gimmicky, skull and crossbones, and other ones that have had skulls and crossbones and caution tape and fucking Grim Reapers and peppers. And, when you look up the info on the thing, it's full bodied all the way to the end of the meter, and, just didn't perform that way. Was it full bodied? No. In body, it was probably medium full. Full in the beginning and then more medium throughout. Was it full strength? I will say there was some strength. Wouldn't say, oh my God, this is such a good, strong cigar. It was a decent cigar. It was a good smoke. It wasn't a waste of time. So thank you to Indie Buzz for sending it. Thank you to all of you for taking the time to watch. I wish I had more to say in between segments or during each segment. I wish there was more to report. Overall, whispers of cocoa, lots of tobacco. The beginning was a little earthy, a little peppery. The rest of it was just kind of tobacco and an enjoyable smoke. Try one. Maybe your palate's different, right? Well, we know everyone's palate's different. So maybe it'll hit you a little bit different. Maybe you can tell me in the comments your experience compared to mine. Otherwise, try one. Don't go nuts. If you can get one. I don't even know how many they made. I don't know if there's any left. Check around. There's some places that have some samplers that include it. I saw a couple. I'm not going to mention them here. Yeah, worth a try. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. And I'll see you soon. We'll do this again. Maybe in a week. Why not? Thanks again.